Okay, so this is a demonstration of the Phantom 4 active tracking system. So for best results, you need to have a subject with a contrast to the background. So here we've got my eldest son Marcello on a scooter with a high-vis jacket. So once the active track is activated, it's going to keep the same distance that you started off from between it and the subject. Now we come up to a corner here and you'll see him taking a left-hand turn. Now the Phantom will actually try and cut the corner just to keep a nice fluid flow to the flight itself, and then it will slingshot in behind him. Now you can influence the path that it's flying on by using the sticks manually. So here I'm going to give some left stick, and you can see that the craft can swing out into a nice panning shot. Now the craft will always favour its crash avoidance system on the front, so when I release, as you can see, it will ping back to going in behind him, just so that the crash avoidance is always facing forward. Now by default the craft will not fly backwards, so if the subject stops and then flies back towards the craft, it won't go backwards unless you activate it. So as you can see him, he's now coming back towards us, and the craft is going to track him all the way past while sitting on the spot, and then once he gets the same distance between him and the craft will then speed up behind him. Now he got a wee bit away from us there, so you can see the craft speeding up to catch up with him, and it will track him all the way back. Now this is all automated, we're not putting any kind of sort of flying controls or yawing controls, and that's going to track him all the way back to the start. Okay, in the second demonstration we're going to use a much bigger target. We're going to use a car, so same things apply. You want a ideal, like if we had a silver or a grey car here, this test would not work as well, but this is obviously going to test on a much faster moving object. Maybe it actually gets a little bit too fast because we do actually lose the subject at the end, but you will see why, because we're flying into the sun. So as Willie pulls off in his Honda Accord down to the main road, you see the craft quickly trying to catch up, and once again cutting the corner to keep the track fluid. Now he shoots off really fast, so the Phantom's really flying hard to keep up, so we're even getting a bit of props and shot, but you see he suddenly slows down, and then once the craft pulls up, so we're at the correct distance, it will slow down again, and then once again he's going to turn left. Now here's the interesting part, because this part is now uphill and the Phantom's going to want to hold its height, which would fly into the ground, but the crash sensors that face down the way will get to 10 meters, and then it's going to maintain its height. Now even now that we're flying into the sun and the subject's actually getting really small, it still keeps tracking. However, at the top here the car will turn right and then go behind the trees, and then it does really struggle to keep the tracking. So you kind of see the sort of standard before it actually loses. So you can see here now it's lost the track, it's climbed up a bit to try and find it again, tries to pick it up, but sadly the car's behind a hill now and it really just can't see it. But that kind of gives you an idea of the sort of setup that you can have.